Okay, so none of my videos are edited like I said before. I'm not going to use jump cuts or anything like that. Not really because I'm too lazy, but because I feel like you got to start out somewhere. You don't always have to start off with the best effects or the best editing. I feel like the best thing on YouTube, the way to get to make it pretty much, is to have something that nobody else has, you know? To have a gimmick that you haven't seen done before. And that's about it. You can't just be like everybody else while at the same time you have to be like everybody else. So it's kind of contradicting, but also yeah. So this video is gonna be on philosophy. I guess just real quick, I went over some philosophy I have found with YouTube. I've watched plenty of people make their videos. I've seen Let's Players. My personal favorite type of YouTubers are Let's Players, so I have plenty of those. Dashi Games, and his Dashi XP channel. Great comedy. It's just so funny. But anyways, so when I think about philosophy, I think in its barest form is kind of like the start of life. How did life start? How did this and that start, you know? Shit. I'm professional as fuck, right? It's hard to say how everything started. I believe in the Big Bang Theory. And theory is very recognized in the scientific community as gravity's a fucking theory, okay? You know what I mean? So people that say, oh, well, evolution is just a theory, you guys are fucking idiots. So yeah, I love the scientific discoveries that we've had. I feel like they're very important. I feel like science is more important than population. And I feel like we've gotten way too much population on the planet as well. In that sense, I mean, we're using our resources, our natural resources, our biological resources. All of that's been used way too much, to the point to where we're fucking up other species from living and thriving off of the planet, and I think that's pretty fucked up. But yeah, so the start of life throughout, in this dimension that we perceive, just so happens to be that if there's a planet formed and there's heat from a star that it happens to be, you know, revolving around, is as long as we have oxygen and carbon dioxide and water, all essential particles of life like that, those just happen to be the types of particles that we get to thrive off of, you know. So we got pretty lucky here. Life, I suppose, is a gift. Life can be a curse. Life can be all sorts of different things. So get away with Dylan with when you know, it's late at night and you think about, why am I alive? You know, it's a matter of how, not why. It's, you know, you're alive because you're lucky, but you're cursed as well. Life is a gift and a curse. That's definitely how I feel about it. And then within life comes social interactions and culture, and in culture we develop to crap called politics, and it's all just a distraction. I feel like everybody's too busy being distracted in life to look at things in life that are more important than, you know, let's say having a job, or saying how much you hate a president or a candidate or whatever. There's so much more important, is, once again, it goes back to science over population. And I'm also making all this stuff up on the spot. Not making it up, but, you know, as it comes in my head, I say it. I believe everything I say, definitely. So none of this is scripted, so it's gonna be kind of and real unprofessional. But yeah, and all those social developments, there came hierarchies. The rich obviously are more important than the poor, and all that crap, and it's unfortunate. But if you really look at it, it was destined to be that way. Just like with American laws and all that, American processes, and there wasn't, having a authority such as police was probably still, to my mind, the best thing that we could have done to prevent acts of just, not even acts of the law, but acts of having life. You realize that it's wrong to murder. Is it just because you say it's wrong if I was murdered, I wouldn't want to be murdered? Or is it just because murder itself is wrong? There's plenty of questions like that that can be answered differently by each person you ask. So I'm just one of those people too. That's why having a channel like I do, I don't feel like I'm special. I'm average. I don't feel like I'm smarter than everybody. I feel like I look at things differently than most people do, and because of that fact, I feel like it's hard to explain without sounding gaudy. Sheesh. But yeah, what was I talking about? Law enforcement in America, and there's not really a good way to make sure cops always get what bad cops get what they have coming to them. But it's unfortunate that they couldn't, because of the fact that there's not really a much better way of ruling a democracy in the way that we do. The way that we do it is pretty efficient, but there's always that stigma that sets people off. It's always different for everybody, and there's gonna always be problems between people because of fear of change, fear of living, fear of experiencing things the way you do. And it's all part of the human experience. It's fucked up, but it's the shit sandwich we've been dealt, so we gotta deal with it. And around the world, dictatorships, democracies, capitalism, all that stuff is once again, I feel they're just distractions from the questions we should be asking. We should be asking, why are we the way that we are now? How come we're not still doing the crap we did back in the medieval ages and the dark ages? And boy, it's a hard fucking thing to answer. All you can really do is talk about it with other like-minded people. I feel like that's kind of what makes it go around. And then you can have a voice, and then the more people you talk to, the louder the voice is. But that's not even really a good thing necessarily, because look at Black Lives Matters and modern third wave feminism and all that. I'll get into feminism in another video. But yeah, I guess for now, philosophy, I didn't say a fraction of what I wanted to say, but I wanted to keep it kind of short, see how things went in that way, and then I'll probably make, philosophy number 2 video and so on. So yeah, I just keep thinking. Always question everything, It's very important. I guess that would be a saying I'd like to use. Question everything. And don't stop. Do what you love. It's okay to, have a job that you don't really like to get some money, but for the love of God, don't fucking stay there. That's the worst thing you can do. The best thing you can do is, while you have money, say, okay, with resources that I can get with this money, how can that help me do what I love? Always find a way to do what you love. I'm in a band, and I fucking love being in that band. But also, I love working with metal, I love working with lumber. It's fun. It's fun to be carpentry and landscaping and stuff. That stuff's always interested me. And I do what I can around this house. It's fun. It's fun. I love doing that. It helps me get away from my thoughts and helps me get away from the world. And it's all depending on how you do things. It can be very, very precise. And if you mess those things up, there are the little imperfections, but I always try to strive for perfection, knowing that I'm an imperfect being. So, I mean, I don't know. Well, anyways, if any of you guys have comments or want to say something that you thought, give your perception of anything that I've covered in this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video.